Hi guys, and welcome back to another Starcraft Remastered replay. As once again we have a very interesting engagement from the South Korean scene. We have spawning here in the at the 12 o'clock position in the blue. It is Jiko. This is of course the AK from JAEDONG, and his opponent spawning here in the lower left part in the white. It is Hidden Sukogi, also a pro South Korean player. So they're spawning here on Neo Slifid, a 3 spawning location map I believe. And yeah, very soon we are going to be checking once again the build orders just like we did in the previous replays onto this channel. So JAEDONG already moving out here with his overlord, luckily for him in the right direction, as we also see the Protoss looks like he's preparing a wall off here for his expansion. So pretty standard stuff. Let's just see what exactly the build order from JAEDONG is going to be. Would this be a spawning pool if his overlord reaches here, of course, the location from the fast expansion? He could be lucky and he could actually punish the macro oriented game here by the Protoss, so he could of course go for a fast spawning pool, but at the same time he could also go for a fast expansion. Currently he just builds his overlord, and there is the gateway actually here for the Protoss, so no intentions to go for a forge straight into gateway. By the looks of it, indeed JAEDONG is actually going for fast expansion first, so no spawning pool first for him, straight expansion, so overlord into expansion for him, meaning of course that both players really are going to go for a macro oriented long game. As you can see from the timer, it is a very long, actually a pretty long replay, 24 minutes here in between the two pros. Let's see how this is going to continue here as the overlord now makes his tier into this location, because JAEDONG could cancel the expansion and invest more into the Zerglings, but I believe he's going to let his tactics go on here. Let's have a look at the main. There's just a pylon here, so all the resources of course will be invested very soon by the Protoss into this wall off, with an expansion, perhaps with a forge very soon, and some cannons into this location. So yeah, spawning pool is about to get finished here for JAEDONG. We might see the first move out by him with some Zerglings just to gain more map control, as a nice block is happening here with the drone from JAEDONG, already dealing quite some good damage against the Zealot here from Sukoji. And yeah, the first Zerglings are also getting produced here, with the gas is also being done. So first Zealot is moving forward. I don't see, actually another Zealot is being built, and yet another one. So Zealot after Zealot is being sent out here by Sukoji towards the expand towards the main actually from JAEDONG. One drone has been, one probe sorry, has been sniped, but there's no really economic damage here against the Zerg player. We actually only see those Zealots nicely taking out two Zerglings, the third Zergling actually really low. So the Zealots will of course try to get a good position here, and they will try to kill more and more workers. One Zealot could actually be microed here into the middle line to deal more and more damage, and a nice position being found here by the Protoss, just to force of course the Zerg to go into more Zerglings, and at the same time he's forcing him to stay home. So he knows of course that his expansion will be secured. Yet another Zealot is moving here out, but very soon he should of course be surrounded. But no, actually he leaves the Zealot here, so like I told you, JAEDONG will be forced to leave some units behind. But no, actually it looks like JAEDONG really is going to move here forward. Just two Zerglings dealing quite good damage here against this one Zealot. Let's see if JAEDONG is going to be successful here into attacking the cannon. Still not finished here for the Protoss player, as the gateway will already take quite some damage, so pretty many Zerglings here. The cannon will finish very soon, but the gateway already dropping very low. The shield has been taken out, and very soon the gateway might fall here as well. So quite a nice move by JAEDONG, but in the end probes will have to be pulled to stop here the end. So let's see if the JAEDONG is going to continue to harass with one cannon. I believe the Protoss should be fine, as JAEDONG is also taking here this expansion. So very late cannon here for the Protoss, but in the end he was okay with the probe, and now once again blocking the entrance with a gateway into his main. See the cybernetics score, and very soon I believe he should go of course for those Corsairs like we've seen in previous replays. Of course the Corsair is not only good for scouting, but also good for sniping those overlords in the air. It looks like JAEDONG still committing towards mass Zerglings. I believe he could try a strong push. He actually has many Zerglings here, and there's still only one cannon for the Protoss, so we still don't see no tier 2 upgrade for JAEDONG. Let's have a look if indeed he's going to massively produce. Actually now droning up, so let's see what exactly his plans are. There's many Zerglings for him. Speed has been done, so he might try once again to push here forward. Actually very strong push once again. He's going for the cannon, not waiting for the reinforcements, just going straight here forward. And actually some Zerglings do make it here out, so I believe he's going to find the courage to move all of his units here forward. The Protoss in some serious trouble. He needs to block the entrance very soon, as many more Zerglings are moving here forward. So a nice move by JAEDONG, punishing here the Protoss. And now some probes will fall here as well for Sukoji very soon. Actually, it's just going straight for those zealots. So somehow the Protoss not really losing any workers here. So quite interesting move. Even though there was quite a large number of Zerglings, somehow the probes just kept fighting, and they killed all of those Zerglings. That's quite interesting, as so many Zerglings were there for JAEDONG. But in the end, the Protoss does hold, and the probes also hold, and finally the cannons will be rebuilt. And I believe with that the Protoss should be fine here. Let's see if there is indeed going to be a transition by JAEDONG very soon into a tier 2. So no tier 2 yet by him. He's actually going into more macro patches here. So is he going to just pretty much, very likely going to try a timing push with some Zerglings and with some Hydralisk. So Hydralisk of course a much stronger unit, range and attack. And with that I believe JAEDONG just wants to finish the game much early here. He's actually going for his tier 2 finally. I don't think we're going to be seeing some Mutalisk. He might very likely go for some Lurkers very soon, as the Protoss is still securing here the entrance. We actually have a nice robotics facility bay and a Protoss robotics support bay here for the speed for the shuttle. So we might see some Reaver drops happening up very soon. Check the main from the Protoss. Interesting enough, no Stargate by him, going straight towards the robotics facility bay, and I believe one Reaver indeed is going to be made by him. So we have a straight nice abusive gameplay very soon here by Sukoji, as he's very likely going to do some drops into this location, into other locations here. So not that much anti-air here by the Zerg, as he's going now for his speed upgrade, and many more Hydralisk are also being produced here by him. So let's see what the Reaver is going to be doing here for the Protoss. Speed will also be finished very soon for the shuttle. Quite an important upgrade to have. And actually the Protoss shows his Reaver. I don't believe that was a good idea by him, but then again JAEDONG also has all of those overlords being spread out, so he should be fine as the shuttle is coming here forward. Speed is going to be done very soon. We also see the Templar Archive, so we might see some High Templars, even some Dark Templars, and speed now being finished by those Hydras. JAEDONG could also of course try a drop with the upgrade for those overlords. Let's see where exactly is the drop going to happen here by Sukoji, as he's still roaming around. Many Hydralisk are all over the map. Finally we do have a drop, so lots of splash damage could be taken here by Hydras. Two of them already been sniped. Yeah, Reaver very good. I believe he just roamed around just to wait for that speed to be finished, and he could even go into another shuttle with another Reaver. Let's see, once again a bouncing ball here by the Reaver, dealing good amount of damage, so nice job. And now even two Zealots are out, but the Reaver is taking quite some damage. The shields are already pretty much low, and now Sukoji is just pretty much going forward into the main. All of those drones have to be brought back into a more secure position, and with that speed, he's just showing us how important the speed from the shuttle is, making that Reaver very mobile, very strong, as his splash damage is also very good here, snapping 3 of the drones here for the Zerg. So the Zerg in pretty much great danger. Once again, the abusive gameplay continues. The shuttle is taking quite some damage, but it's a very chaotic scene here. I believe very soon the shuttle might get snapped, so quite a nice move by the Protoss, actually showing us that the shuttle gameplay with the Reaver is also very good, and I believe even better than the Corsair gameplay against the Overlords. So Jaedong now pretty much getting forced to be more defensive, to stay home with his Hydras to protect his economy, as we do have a move out with the shuttle, and we do even see 2 Dark Templars getting produced here, so some protection will very much get needed here by the Zerg, as we have yet indeed another shuttle with Psionic Storm with DTs. Let's see how this is going to continue. He needs to be careful, of course, not to lose his shuttle. Let's see if the second shuttle is going to be more successful. So Jaedong in a very difficult situation here. If he's lucky to snap this shuttle, it would be very great. At the same time, we do see massive amounts of zealots moving here forward, getting a good position. I believe they will be backed up very soon by this one Reaver. So yeah, like I told you, a very hard game for Jaedong, as he's losing so many units, and also his economy has taken quite some damage, and the Reaver once again with the Scarab dealing massive amounts of splash damage. Should be cleared very soon, but the damage has already been done. The Protoss having 20 more workers than his opponent, and let's not forget that he also has another shuttle here. Actually, he went for a Dark Archon, so let's see, might try some mind control here versus Jaedong. Jaedong once again taking a Scarab here against those Hydras, just losing so many units. He tries, of course, to spread those Hydras just to inflict damage against the abusive gameplay here by the Protoss. So quite a nice gameplay here by him. Let's see when exactly he's going to activate the second shuttle and move forward. Currently this Reaver, actually, I believe he has at 20, I believe 20 to 30 kills already into just one Reaver. So what a great gameplay here by the Protoss, showing us that he has almost a double amount of the workers, but in the end this will of course be finally sniped. A very late snipe here by JD with the Scourges, but yeah, damage has been done, lots and lots of damage towards the gameplay here, towards the economy from JD, as now the opponent might try to move out once again with a shuttle, and we even have the Maelstrom ability also. Maelstrom it is going to be for the Dark Archon, and I believe Maelstrom and then just Psionic Storm just to clear the masses from Jaedong. So a massive Hydralisk army here for JD. Let's see when exactly he's going to try to attack. The Protoss pretty much just clumping up his units together, just closing in the door, actually going for armor for his units. So interesting enough, weapons 1 has been done, and now he's going for armor, ground armor. Quite interesting strategy, and a very fast upgrade here, as we have just passed now the 30-minute mark. And let's see what's going to happen. A great storm here by the Protoss player, forcing of course Jaedong back. It's very hard to out micro the storm, as so much splash damage to be taken here. Shuttle takes quite some damage. If the shuttle should be used once again into a more abusive gameplay here, but I believe the Protoss is very likely going to secure his expansion first and then perhaps move out, or perhaps is going to have to go for a second shuttle once again. The main here is actually pretty much exposed, only one Hydralisk guarding it at the same time. In comes the move by JD, but yeah, so much splash damage once again. Protoss just shows us how important High Templars are into defending, and at the beginning of the game the shuttle gameplay was also very good, sniping so many units from JD. It would have been interesting to see how many kills that Reaver had, but I believe it was around 20 to 30, so just one shuttle with one Reaver just dealing so much economic damage, and also sniping a couple of Hydralisk, quite a healthy number of Hydralisk here for him. So JD is still on mass Hydras here with some lurkers very soon. We see the Maelstrom, and I believe going to cast some item storm. Actually, no storms needed. The damage is being taken by the Dragoons and Zealots at the same time. We do see a move out here, but yeah, 2 Reavers here to secure this very soon. We might see a High Templar Storm, so JD taking quite some damage. Is still at only 80 supply versus almost a double amount here for the Protoss. And with this one expansion, the Protoss is just going to have more and more of an advantage. So of course Jaedong is going to take his other expansion, the 3 o'clock. But is it going to be enough, as the Protoss might try to launch an attack very soon towards his first expansion point? So the reaction from Jaedong of course is going to be lurkers. I don't actually see any observers here for the Protoss, interesting enough. Now finally there is the first observer, so with that I believe the Protoss might try to move out very soon to attack Jaedong. So he has to hurry up of course, as he's pretty much getting maxed out very soon. JAEDONG tries a counter attack with some units here, with some lurkers. This is getting actually scanned here by the Protoss. Actually do have a great engagement here and a nice surround attempt here by JAEDONG, as the shuttle takes quite some damage. At the same time, the Hydra is also dealing some good amounts of damage here, but in the end I believe the Protoss should be fine. However, he's getting pretty much surrounded here. The observer might have been taken out, so the Protoss just pretty much has to retreat now. He needs to regroup in the middle of the map. We didn't see any high temperature storms yet, so storms would have been of course vital here to end this attack off. Finally, a good engagement here by the Zerg, by JAEDONG, taking out some Dragoons there and almost taking out this shuttle, so needs to be careful. Now, as if he might check the replay, the main from JD is pretty much exposed, so one shuttle gameplay here would have been devastating once again against all of the economy from JD. And I believe the second expansion point here is also pretty much exposed, so yeah, the Protoss might have tried to play it a little bit more defensively and then just harass. I believe that's exactly what he's trying to do now with a Reaver that's pretty much hurt. There are no more overloads here into his location, so he could be fine. He's just checking the water. In the meantime, in the middle of the map, we see a small engagement, so the Protoss will finally fly here over, and there are no defenses, just a couple of Hydrals now finally moving here forward. The shuttle will be sniped. The Reaver might take out some workers here. In the end, JAEDONG having a couple of Hydrals here, luckily for him, as slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 20-minute mark. So quite an interesting game, still anyone's game. But if the Protoss just pretty much is going to go into more high Templars and Reavers, I believe the game should be his. So much more supply than JD. At the same time, finally JD with a good attack here. His Reaver is in a great position, but there we have an observer, so this will be cleared. However, the high ground is now here for JAEDONG, and yeah, finally a good storm by him just to kill those units. The expansion should of course be pretty much secured, so still mass amounts of Hydras for JD with lurkers versus the gateway gameplay here for the Protoss. Zealots with Dragoons and some High Templars. I don't see any Reavers now for him. A couple of shuttles here. Finally, some Reavers are getting produced. I believe the Reaver should of course be the answer. Actually, this Reaver looks like it's trapped here, so the shuttle is very likely going to pick him up very soon. And let's see when exactly the Protoss is going to attack. He's close to being maxed out. He needs those observers, or he just might try to do some pushes here. I believe one Dark Templar has made it here forward with the shuttle. And there we have a great storm now once again. So 1, 2, 3, even 4, around 6 to 7 workers have been sniped here. So quite a chaotic gameplay here for JAEDONG. A very, very hard game. He's getting nicely attacked by the Protoss. At the same time, you might see a move out here by the Protoss in the middle of the map at the end. More units are followed up here, so good harassment gameplay here by the Protoss versus JD, as JD is still on mass Hydras. I don't know if this tactic is going to work out for him, as those High Templars are just a great counter towards all of those masses of Hydras for him, and also so many Dragoons. But yeah, the Hydras deal some good amounts of damage. Dragoon after Dragoon is getting killed, and finally some good storms once again by the Protoss. As more and more units, he needs to be careful not to micro those units correctly. It's just so many Dragoons. He could engage here now, and yes, somehow JAEDONG with just a couple of Hydras dealing more and more damage towards the Protoss army, and at the same time he's also taking expansion after expansion. So the newly established bases, I believe, should be the target from the Protoss. Yeah, but there's great defenses here on the high ground with some Sunkens, and actually many spreaded units here for JD. So only a shuttle gameplay once again could be the answer for the Protoss, as more and more upgrades are getting done here for both players. Let's actually check the upgrades. We have 1 to 2 weapons upgrade here for the Protoss and 2 weapons upgrade here for JAEDONG, as the Protoss might intercept here actually the army from the Zerg. So yeah, some Hydras will fall. I believe the Protoss try to expand into his location, but this should of course be cleared. He has the high ground. He's going to deal some damage. And actually quite a hard position here for the Protoss to attack, as more and more damage will be taken by him. Finally a storm is going to lure all of those Hydralisks, and yeah, all of a sudden all of them are getting killed by massive amounts of storms. But if you look at the supply, JAEDONG is actually catching up very soon. All of his expansions here are nicely pumping out more and more minerals and gas. And the Protoss still has to make up his mind, still roaming around the map, still pushing here up and down just to secure his expansion points. Not really playing any more abusively, allowing the Zerg to somehow come back into this game. And it's still mass Hydras here for JD, as luckily for him those Hydras will take out unit after unit, and then he's just going to out micro the storms. And now reinforcements are pulling forward, so good position here for JAEDONG, actually dealing more and more damage. He's nicely microing those units and sniping the high tempo, so a little bit of a chaotic gameplay here by the Protoss, not microing that good as the JAEDONG. And yeah, somehow JAEDONG seems to be gaining the upper hand as more and more units are falling here for the Protoss. Only JAEDONG is being pushed back, but look at that, all of a sudden he has more supply. Not that many workers as the Protoss, but still more supply all of a sudden, as sadly here for the Protoss he's not really paying attention with his micro management, so unit after unit is getting snapped. There's so many groups of small Hydralisks here hiding all over the map, and they will deal damage after damage towards the units. And actually all of a sudden he might get a good surround here against the Protoss, so let's see how this is going to work out. It's still mass Hydras for JD as he's attacking from all sides, so the Protoss pretty much gets surrounded from all sides. Quite a nice game by JD, but is it going to be enough? Let's not forget that the high tempest will of course also deal so much splash damage against the units from Zerg. It's mass Hydras, no lurkers, even no Zerg is no Dark Templar, interesting enough. Sorry, no Dark Swarm yet here for JD. Is just saying on tier 2, perhaps it's just an experimental gameplay here by him, as most Zergs would have of course gone for the Defiler with Dark Storm, a much needed spell into the late game. And actually all of a sudden we see the Coons going for lurkers. So mass Hydras with lurkers it is going to be here for JAEDONG. Is it going to work out versus the Protoss or High Templar? I believe a fifth one is here. So let's see what's going to happen here. Sadly I don't understand what the South Korean player is saying here towards JD. This could have of course been just a test game, but have a look how things will unfold. So many lurkers here for JD, as he has more supply and even almost closed workers versus the Protoss. So quite a passive gameplay here by the Protoss, not deciding to attack. After an early great game, he's now pretty much just roaming around the map, and all of a sudden JAEDONG is moving here forward. An Archon attempt here by the Protoss. Not that many units here to defend. Great storms however here by the Protoss. And let's see for how long JAEDONG is going to last here, as the reinforcements are pulling forward here for the Protoss. But at the same time I believe JAEDONG's economy is going to allow him to attack here and regain the upper hand. So more and more units are getting lost for both players. And with a great targeting actually here for JD, he's being able to snipe so many units. And let's not forget that he has so many lurkers pretty much waiting here. But look how things will unfold here, as both players taking quite some damage. In the end this has been cleared, but like I told you, the economy from JAEDONG looks now all of a sudden much more stronger, and he has so many lurkers here. Let's see if he's going to try a drop actually with some overlords. It would be a good idea into these locations and into the other newly established base here from the Protoss. All of a sudden the Protoss pretty much suffering. He's at only 120 supply, and now the lurkers are coming forward for JD. Actually massive amounts of lurkers. A very interesting game, never seen this. Like I told you, it would be a test game by JD, and he's actually nicely out microing those storms, and now he might even get a great surround against all of those High Templars. Yeah, a great dodge. I believe this was the tactics here by JD, moving with those lurkers in the front, just pretty much surrounding the units from the Protoss. And now all of a sudden the Hydras will be in a good position, given the fact that there's not that many High Templars being left alive. And now just pretty much Dragoon after Dragoon is going to fall. And yes indeed, this is going to be the GG. So a quite interesting strategy here by JD. Like I told you, a very rare strategy. Mass Hydralisk actually for him. No Zerglings, no Defilers. Very interesting gameplay, but in the end, this has brought him the game. So after an early nice game by the Protoss, an early aggressive gameplay with the shuttle, with one shuttle and one reaver, just pretty much crippling the economy from JD. JD somehow came back. He did split his troops. He did split a couple of groups of Hydras, stay back at home and defend. And in the end, with all of those expansions, with all of those hatcheries, he did gain the upper ground and was able to kill his opponent here. Let's just check the stats very quick, as I'm going to be clicking left and right. So yeah, like I told you, the Protoss with a very early good game, I believe. At one point he was very far ahead. At some point he played it very passively, so strongly pushing towards the bases from JAEDONG, pretty much allowing the macro game for JAEDONG to kick in, and with that JAEDONG gained the upper hand. Quite an interesting strategy, like I told you, just mass hydras with lurkers. Get those lurkers really fast on the ground, pretty much avoiding the temporal storms. I believe JD just tried something new. If he would have attacked with high risk, the outcome might have been different, as those storms might have gotten a good connections versus the hydras and the lurkers, and the borrowed lurkers, of course, gaining them a good surround maneuver towards the Protoss. And yeah, JD quite interesting winning this game. And I hope once again you guys enjoyed. Be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.